Hello, chat. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Daily Grind, the daily podcast that goes over a few of the top stories. On today's show, we're going to talk about Legendary Drops has a video. Talk about I talked to Ubisoft Devs and it's far worse than we thought. He had about 3 days ago. It's blowing up. It's almost got almost 1 million views in 3 days. So we're going to watch that. Talk about that. We're also going to talk about PlayStation will use AI and machine learning to speed up game development. So we're going to talk about that as well. And then we're also going to talk about Ubisoft says that Xdefiant has fallen behind expectations. So if you like what we do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning to about noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as low as $5. I don't know if I like this new program. I like it, but there's something off about it. Something's not doing well here. Let me go into chat here and see what you guys are talking about. What's going on, Travis? What's going on, Chris? Jason Marshall, Brain Eclipse, Ron Slusher. Good morning. Good morning. Eclipse, thank you very much for the continued support. Member for 12 months. Thank you very much for that. I would have a clap, but none of my audio is working, so I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Kylo, good morning. Who am I missing? James Thomas, good morning. Magic Dolphin, good morning. Stealth, what's going on? East Vandal, good morning. Good morning. All right. So bear with me. I want to make sure the audio is working for the video. We're not going to watch the video right now, but I just want to make sure that you guys can actually hear the video when we play it. So let me know. Let me know if you guys can hear this video. Can you guys hear that? No. Can't hear that. Cannot. Awesome. All right. I don't know. All right, let me try something here. Let me try something here. Let's see. Chrome tab. Let's see if you can hear this.
Me Too movement allegations to agenda-driven content. I want to contrast the comments made in these interviews with what we've seen from Assassin's Creed Shadows and Star Wars Outlaws. This company has a deep-rooted leadership issue.
All right, we can hear that now. Fantastic. All right. All right. So we'll watch that a little bit later. So we know that tab works there. And I appreciate you guys working around with me. We're trying to use a different program here to see if it works better. Not so much better. Maybe it's just user error for most of it. What's going on, Krebsy? Yeah, we're gonna play tonight. We're gonna play Shattered Space tonight on stream, Stealth. So we'll check that out tonight. All right, let's get to the first. Let's get to the first story, which we'll talk about. Let's talk about the PlayStation. The PlayStation. Which is right here. PlayStation will use AI and machine learning to speed up game development. If you like what we talk about here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and yeah, let's get to it. So PlayStation will use the AI and machine learning to speed up the game development. A new Sony corporate report says Sony has revealed that PlayStation will use AI and machine learning to speed up the game development. On page 16 of the report, Sony had a bolstering technology that also can help creators engage in maximizing the value of their IP efficiency of high-quality ways, including sensing and capturing, as well as real-time 3D processing. AI and machine learning as a technology will help developers in IP rapidly and low cost to broader range of fans, or broaden the range of fans. Now, the reporter reveals that PlayStation used machine learning in the production of Marvel Spider-Man 2, applying voice recognition software to certain languages. This process allowed the company to automatically synchronize subtitles with each character's line, significantly shortening the subtitling process. Now, Sony also revealed that the building in the volumetric capture studio, which generates a 3D data from people locating or locations to render high quality images. And they said going forward, we plan on apply high quality 3D assets, including motion data from the studio, accumulating by each of the company's cross-functional cross of the group, and explore the potential external sales. Okay. They also continue in real-time 3D processing. We are also pursuing exploratory activities with the Epic Games focused on the Unreal Engine development and physical engines for the CG generation. And for instance, we reuse the 3D CG components from the music video shot using virtual production to produce a game set in the same world and release a proof of concept CG-based short film using the Unreal Engine. The AI and machine learning will have been a hot topic in the industry in recent years around plagiarism, creativity, and also cause of redundancies. And with PlayStation getting more on board with the possibilities of those conversations are surely set to continue. So what do you think of the companies using the machine learning and AI to make games? Look, I think this is great. I would be a hypocrite if I said I don't like AI, okay? Because I use AI with YouTube videos, okay? I've been using AI to help me not edit my videos, but to shorten what to edit in my videos. I've been using for help with the titles. I've been helping, it gives me ideas. So like in ChatGPT, I'll type in, give me 10 best titles that I could use, and then I choose from those things. But instead of me typing 10 things out, it saves time for me. So I totally get where they're going with this. Now, I'm only one person. I'm not a company. But let's say I had somebody that I was employing that was writing titles for me. And I was like, you know what? I can't really afford them. And then I start just using the AI. The redundancy is I don't need this person to make titles for me because I can just use a title creator from AI. So now you're going into video games. Does this make it better or worse for the consumer? Now, for the consumer side, I think this could get a little bit weird as far as we wouldn't know because most people are not tuned in like I am or you guys are when you're watching videos like this or watching YouTube when people are covering this. So most people, 99.9% of people wouldn't even realize that AI is being associated in any way, shape, or form, okay, in this. So nothing would change for them. For some of us, we look at this and go, well, something's off. I just don't know what it is. Something doesn't look as good. Everything kind of might look the same because it has to be taught what it is. So if AI started using, which they procedurally generated stuff in the Unreal Engine that we saw, it looks amazing. But then there are times that, let's look at Starfield for example. Starfield used the handcrafted stuff for small sections of the map, but then they also use, procedurally generated, which is AI. Okay. And procedurally generated stuff is the exact same because it knows what buildings to put in. So let's say they have 100 buildings and then the AI goes, okay, we're going to scatter these across the thing. Same thing with Minecraft procedurally generated or Warframe procedurally generated or No Man's Sky procedurally generated. Sometimes you'll see the exact same things across the board. Now, what they're talking about in the article as far as doing it for voice, for subtitles and stuff like that, 100% understandable. People that use the shorts, no one's typing in their shorts word for word. They throw it into a program. The program looks at it and says, this is what you're saying, and it puts it up on the screen in text, speech to text type of stuff. So that is definitely saving time. Now, this is the early stages of AI, and I think early stages of AI is fine, helping with the subtitles, helping with stuff like that. But obviously, it's going to get better and better. It's going to start taking over people's jobs because when the smartphones first came in, we were like, this is a smartphone. Everyone's jobs are fine. But meanwhile, libraries got wiped out. Editing videos got wiped out. Television sets, basically. You know what I mean? Like more people watch stuff on your mobile phone or a device rather than a television, or read books on a tablet than the actual book, right? There's still people that do it, but it literally wiped out industries for a small thing. So going in the future of video games, do we see this happening as well for game developers? As the game developers keep teaching the AI better things to do, it's going to get rid of the redundancies and get rid of people. So jobs will change and meld, I guess, throughout the years or decades. But what do you guys think in chat? What do you guys think in the comment section if you're watching this after the fact? Do you think that AI will start to take over other people's jobs? And will it just make the games less interesting, or would it make it more interesting, or will we not notice? Let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know in the live chat what you guys think. If you like what I do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning to noon Eastern. We just cover news stories, have conversations. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And if you like what we do, check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. So chat, what do you guys think here? Let me scroll back up and see what you guys. I don't have any kind of music, so let me pick some soundtrack here that we can listen to. That's nice in the background. What's this one? Let me know if that's too loud. Maybe I'll lower that just a little bit more. All right. We'll just have that in the background. Krebs says the company has an AI in their new console with use AI. Shocking. Travis says, it's funny how people make fun of the PlayStation 5 remakes, but what I hear is at least it has games to remake. Of course there's games to remake. There's literally like 30 years of games that they had that they can remake. The problem is new things. They don't have new things, which is admitted by them themselves, Travis. They said, we don't have enough IPs, right? There's not enough original content in the IPs that they want to use to make games, so they have to keep remaking old games. That's bad for you, the consumer, right? Great for them, the business, because they don't actually have to try to do anything. They can just remake all the stuff they have. So... Sarge, I don't know if if it looks grainy. I mean, I don't know if the program is doing something different. On my screen, it doesn't look it actually looks clearer to me than the other thing, but oh, you know what it might be? You know what it might be? It might be because I'm not as focused, as crystal clear, because this program I'm using I'm not using a third party to clear up the picture. So that's why it might look a little blurry for you. Yeah, we'll try it today. It is what it is. I don't want to end the stream and start over again on the other one. So I want to use this and see if we can smooth it out a little bit. You know what I mean? Am I skipping? I don't know if I'm skipping. Eclipse says, you don't remember the article that 31 over person called Professor was telling them to do all the stuff with the was not a developer? Right. What's going on, Jojo? Good afternoon. What's going on, Kraken? AI will definitely take over lots of jobs. It already has. The AI in video games, I do not care as long as it's good. Right. And I think that's another way to look at it, where if you're just a person playing video games, you're not going to notice that, oh my God, this is only made by AI. The game's shittier looking. You know what I mean? I don't think we're going to know that. Like, for instance, in the Unreal Engine that they use for film, for the volume, right? That Disney Star Wars is doing, and a lot of other productions are doing, right? For the average moviegoer, they don't know that they're filming on a small little sound stage with LEDs in the back, you know, with television sets in the background. They don't know that, right? But people like myself notice something different because it's not the same as it used to be. But the average moviegoer doesn't realize it, doesn't recognize it, right? That makes a whole lot easier for the production side, but at the same time, it's also costing more, right? It's also costing them more. We see these productions that Disney's doing, and it's just worse in like every single way, where they're spending more money. In the video game industry, they're also spending more money, right? So where's that money going? And if they do AI, is the price of video games still going to go up? Absolutely is, right? Because they're going to have less people working on the game, but they're still got that same margin. They still want that same thing. Travis says, Ed Boon blocking people for insulting the new Mortal Kombat story is crazy. Devs don't want to listen to the criticism anymore, not realizing it's how great games were made in the old days. Look, if people don't want to listen, then when they fail, they can't be like, well, I don't understand why I failed, right? Can't understand it. Chris says, I think in regards to artificial intelligence, like what 7 of 9 from Star Trek Voyager would say, we adapt. Sure. How long before Ubisoft sells off studio like Massive and Red Storm? We were talking about that last week. It's hard to say right now. It's hard to say. There's a lot of stuff moving parts behind the scenes with Ubisoft. We were just bouncing things around. Some of us said that that they might go bankrupt, and I don't think they sell Ubisoft off. I do think they sell off pieces of Ubisoft and then go private, right? But we'll see what happens in the future. That's hot tub stream music. There you go. Yeah. Kraken says Sony has games to remake, but they remake the wrong ones. Yeah. All right, let me see what you guys. What's going on, Water Bear? Good morning. Jojo says in maybe 20 years, AI is going to be a normal thing. New generations won't know any better. You think it's going to take that long? Oh, I don't even think it's going to take that long. Look how fast just in the last year that the AI has done from just pictures and art and video, right? People can make full-length feature films now if they really wanted to with just AI typing stuff in. I don't think we have a decade. I think it's much faster than that, right? I think it's much faster. I don't see it happening. It's just going to get exponentially faster, because what happens is if one person's using AI, then it would take what you're saying. But because it's so many people are using AI, like when you go to an AI program for the artwork, for backgrounds or whatnot, just for that, you're in a queue because there's so many people using it. Same with ChatGPT. There's so many people using it. You get in a queue, okay? And there's people paying for it. There's people that are free. And there's so many people using it. It's getting better and better all the time because so much people are feeding it information. If you have one person doing it, then yeah, it would take small. But we have millions of people using this program, right? Millions of people taking AI and adapting it and using it and changing it and feeding it information. And it's just exponentially getting better and better and better. AI progress will be faster, but it will take time to become normal. Look how fast, technology-wise, right? So for the first, 100 years, well, actually, first 100 years, from 1900 to 2000, there was like very, very little progress as far as technology, right? But from like 2000 to 2007, right? And then we had the smartphone. From 2007 to 2024, we've exponentially gotten much smarter or dumber, whichever way you look at it, but smarter with technology, right? This is normal. This is normal now. Okay. Having a cell phone that does everything for you is normal. And that was in less than 20 years. It's actually less than 10 years. Okay. So I don't know if it's going to take as long as you're thinking, Jojo. Eclipse says, I'm playing Division 2, and I just got the end because of the XP bonus this weekend. I'm just saying the game is so much better to me than Outlaws, and the AI is so good in that game. Did you hear Endymion had a video? We're not going to watch it here. He said in his video, and I don't know if you watched it, but he said he talked to some developers in Ubisoft, and what Star Wars Outlaws was supposed to be, okay? I was like, son of a bitch. It was actually closer to what I said when we first heard about them massive working on a Star Wars game. I was like, oh, it's probably like a Division 4-player co-op game that you could do. And I was like, maybe like the Bad Batch is what I said. Okay. But what it was before Outlaws single-player game, it was supposed to be a Mandalorian game where everyone was a Mandalorian and you would upgrade your gear and whatnot, and it was like Division. That's what it was supposed to be, right? Supposedly, from people that were talking about it. I would have been like, that would have been badass. Instead, we got Outlaws. Now, I liked Outlaws. I thought it was good. I didn't think it was great. I think it has a lot of stuff that it could do to make it better, which they're fixing. So they admit that something was wrong with it. But it would have been so much better if it was a Division-esque type of game where you're running around shooting stuff. All right, let me see what you guys are saying. These fans talking about that. Travis says, "Did you send me the Endymion, or was it I sent you?" No, I said that. I sent that to you. Come on, Aunt Jemima. Yeah, it's a good video. Now, obviously, just because Endymion's making a video, I never go into videos like that thinking that's the truth, right? He says, you take it with a big, huge grain of salt. These are people that were speaking from the inside of Ubisoft, and they want to stay anonymous. Or anonymous. Anonymous? Anonymous. I'll be okay. Water Bear says, 30 question. Would you be interested in Legends of Zelda made as a Souls-like adventure, similar to Dark Souls, but set in the Zelda universe? You play as much more mature version of Link. You got that from Asmongold. I watched that at the end of yesterday when he was talking about the Astrobot. We was talking about Astrobot and how Mario was combined. Me personally, I wouldn't care. I'm not a big Dark Souls fan. Like, it's just not my type of game. So I'm sure it would be interesting for a lot of people, but for me personally, no, it wouldn't interest me. Yeah, the Astrobot video, Duplass posted it in Discord this morning. The Astrobot compared to Nintendo was hilarious. In a way of, you could see they copied them 100%, right? 100%. Now, obviously, they should be able to do that, right? You shouldn't be able to patent any kind of mechanics and stuff like that, but it's just blatant. They literally took Astrobot and said, what do we do to make people like this game like past games? And I said, well, Mario works. And they literally stole basically everything from Mario. There's Firefox in there. There's Zelda. There's Metroid Prime. There's a bunch of, but it's mostly Mario stuff. And obviously, they just one for one. It's a one for one. Yeah, literally copy and paste. But if you hate that, then you have to say, like, Pal World should be okay, right? Nintendo can't say, well, they one for one. They're throwing a ball at the thing, capturing a Pokemon, which capturing a friend or capturing a pal, right? It's the exact same thing. Why is that bad? But yet what they're doing is not bad. I think all of them should be fine, because you shouldn't be able to patent a game mechanic, right? You shouldn't be able to patent where we're the ones that came up where an open world where you jump a certain way and you can swing a thing a certain way. You know what I mean? Like 100%, it should be able to do this. And it's okay in my eyes that Astrobot copied them. You got to copy the greatness. That's what you do, right? On YouTube and in Hollywood and everywhere else, people copy other people all the time. They change it in their way, which they did. They changed it into Astrobot and their world and their stuff. But basically, you could have taken an Astrobot skin and just put it over a Mario, and that would have been it. You know what I mean? Cool Bama says, yeah, I play Zelda to play Zelda, not Dark Souls. Well, he's saying if they made a Dark Souls type of thing. The investors had to force Ubisoft CEO to get Division 3 into development, and the investors' words that were Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Division are moneymakers. Yeah. This is what I said before all of this happened. I said, if they just made the Star Wars game like Division, but instead of running around DC and New York, we're running around Coruscant, and you're like fighting people, put a skin on it. Okay, right? You have people that want to play games like that, and they'll play them. Roic says, I tried a new game this weekend called Sir Whoop Ass. It's pretty fun. What is it? It sounds like a side-scrolling type of game. What type of game is it? Travis says Nemesis system loses its patent, is what you're saying. Well, they have what, a patent? I think it's for 20 years. I think it's 20 years for the patent for in video games. Yeah, more people should be able to use the Nemesis system. Everyone should be able to use the Nemesis system. You shouldn't be able to patent game mechanics or a type of game. Altern says, I like the jokes of Nintendo patenting swimming in fire and water, and Nintendo invented Italy. Yeah. That video is very good by Asmongold. And obviously, the whole time he's watching, the entire time he's watching, he's like, yeah, completely copy. Like, he's being facetious. He knows it's a copy. We all know it's a copy. But it's okay, because they know what the formula is. And the formula is Nintendo. Nintendo, right? Again, that's not a Sony thing. Sony knows that they're trying to get into a market that they're not in, which is more kid type of games. And they know the masters of those type of games is Nintendo. So why wouldn't you take a game that you're trying to come up with to market towards those type of gamers and copy the people that are the best at it? Okay. Let's see. Jesse Mack, what's going on, Jesse Mack? Says, I wonder if they're ever going to release Rainbow Six Las Vegas game again. Probably. That's not even I was like, yeah, most likely, yeah, probably. They probably will. Robert Jones says, is the Nemesis patent or the implementations of the system? No, the whole system is patented. The Nemesis system is patented and owned by WB. And nobody can use it. Nobody can use a system like that until 2035. So we're like 11 years away, 10, 11 years away from open world games becoming better because of that system. If anybody wants to use that right now, Jones, they have to pay WB royalties. Dolphin says, 30, you're going to be playing Starfield on stream at noon or whatever? No, tonight, 8 p.m. 8 p.m. I might boot it up this afternoon when I'm done streaming just to find out, like, how to start it so we're not lost when we do it tonight. All right. Let's go to the second story. Go to the second story. If you guys like what I do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning to noon Eastern. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We've been putting up some shorts and whatnot on the stream. If you like shorts, go check them out. I'm not pushing them out to the subs. So they just get put out there. We've had a couple of good ones out there. So, all right. So Ubisoft says that Xdefiant has fallen behind expectations. I had a video that I created about 11 months ago, right? It's still up on the channel, but I created actually two of them. One I never posted up on YouTube, but it was right after Xdefiant came out, and it was called they indefinitely postponed it, right? They were having issues with the net code and all this other stuff. And in that video, I talked about how the company should not release the game until it's ready, until it's actually ready. And obviously, because I'm a nobody and no one gives a shit anyway, the company would have done it anyway. If Asmongold told them to not release it, they would have released it anyway. And they released it. And since that time, yes, they had a massive amount of people come play the game. People enjoyed the game. But the same issues that were happening last year in the beta, closed beta, all the other stuff is still happening. And now people are leaving it in droves. Okay. So much so that Ubisoft CEO, Guillemot, butchered it. Don't worry about it. That's what I do here. I butcher people's names. Okay, confirmed that Xdefiant has fallen behind expectations amidst the company's struggles. Now, this week, the news that Xdefiant is struggling went somewhat under the radar following what arguably one of Ubisoft's most challenging periods in recent memory. First, it was announced that Assassin's Creed Shadows is delayed until 2025, followed by several announcements that the company as a whole, including Ubisoft's board, launching investigation into the company's struggles. As part of this major announcement, Ubisoft held a trading call update during the Gamont answered questions about why the company reduces its second quarter revenue expectations by 30%. Now, so quarter two guidance is only Star Wars Outlaws, or is there something else underperforming in the portfolio? Gamont replied, it mostly reflects the softer than expected sales of Star Wars Outlaws. We also had behind expectations of Xdefiant, which will also give you a bit more detail in October. We also continued a too much lesser extent, a limited impact as a lower expectations of Xdefiant. Now, Gamont comments are stark difference from the company's first quarter sales reports, where they reported that the game was off and an encouraging start as it continued to grow the audience as a steady pace of play and a quarterly roadmap continued that allows it firmly establish the game over time. Now, last month, the Insider Gamer reported Xdefiant was at risk of losing its much-needed post-launch support if it couldn't be turned around by the end of Season 3, as the game has also been struggling to see 20,000 concurrent players and its uptick in player spending. The reports that subsequently community conversations led to Xdefiant saying that the game is absolutely not dying in recent blog posts. But it absolutely is. Okay, Insider Gamer understands that the game fell below 200,000 DAU, daily active users, in 24 hours throughout August, but saw a 40% daily average uptick in the DAU throughout the daily rewards program. While good on paper, players spending and continuously player engagement are the answer to prevent the game from going in life support. At the time of writing this, Xdefiant leadership still hopes that Season 3 will be the start to bring players and their wallets back. A silver lining, though, Xdefiant, though, is a push to Steam, while not also been told that the game will also come to the platform for definite yet. Sorry. Ubisoft recent announcements that the game will also be coming on Steam day one was understandably recognized by the team to push it internally. So fingers crossed that Xdefiant will make its way to Steam soon. Well, look, these are two completely different things. If it was doing well on console, then they wouldn't push it to Steam, right? Can we all admit that, right? If it was doing well, then they wouldn't have pushed it to Steam. But they need the Steam because they need the numbers. They need the numbers to make it look good on paper for investors, okay? For investors. So because it's doing what it's doing, and again, they can tell you, yeah, everything's fine here. You know that little meme from Leslie Nielsen from Naked Gun where the building's burning behind him and they're like, everything's fine, nothing to see here. That's what's happening with Ubisoft right now. Obviously, as a corporate person, you're not going to tell you, oh yeah, we're absolutely devastated. We're losing it. You can't say that because then people are jumping off the ship faster than their people are jumping off the ship. Okay. So they have to say, yeah, everything's fine. It's just below our expectations. There's a lot wrong with Xdefiant. Now, this doesn't mean that people are playing it can't be like, I'm enjoying it. I like the game. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about the business side of this, where they are struggling. Not enough people are paying for microtransactions with Xdefiant, but that's okay because there's every game. Like if it was just Xdefiant out in the world and there wasn't any other games competing with it, then there'd be a problem. You know, be like, oh, it's fine. We're making enough money. But there's so many other games out there. There's so many other games like this out there that the player base is dwindling because they're going other places. There's just too many options to play. So all of these games that come out, all of these samey type of games that come out, they're all competing for the exact same thing. So when they're talking about, well, in the first quarter, it was awesome. It projected wise, if I put a video out, if I put a short out, and the short all of a sudden hits 1,000 or 10,000 views right away, I'm like, oh, this is gonna break 1 million, right? But then shortly after that, it just doesn't do anything for the next like 10 days. It just dies off, right? That's the way they're talking about with these things. They're like, oh yeah, we're very happy with this. The projection of the line looks like it's scoring perfectly, right? And then all of a sudden now they're like, yeah, something's up, right? So I think it was Side Scrollers, Starter and Craig talked about how many pre-order sales were happening for Assassin's Creed Shadows, okay? Ubisoft is in so much dire need. There was something along in a massive like box store, okay, nationwide. There was like 800 pre-orders, 800 total. Okay, so obviously you're not going to hear that from Ubisoft going, yeah, but this is why one of the reasons they canceled or pushed Assassin's Creed Shadows to February. Right? So when the house is burning, they're not going to admit that the house is burning. They're like, no, it's a small little fire. Okay, but there's massive problems going on with Ubisoft. So much so that Xdefiant might not even be an Ubisoft property this time next year, right? They might sell off the company. They might have to close the company, right? Because they're having so many issues. But let me know what you guys think about Xdefiant. Are you guys playing Xdefiant? Do you think it's awesome? It should stay around. It's better than all the other ones out there. Are you enjoying it? But do you think there's enough player base out there that will, in the next 6 months, 10 months, will this game still be around? Let me know in the comments section down below. Let me know in the live chat what you think about Xdefiant. If you like what I do here, please make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Thanks for watching. Let's go on, Roadkill. Vandal says, once COD from Xbox drops, it will bury Xdefiant next to Concord. Soon as Black Ops comes out, Vandal, right? That's on all platforms, okay? Obviously, Ubisoft knows their mistakes. This is why they're putting everything on Steam day one now, going forward. So we'll see what happens, right? Krebsy says, in my opinion, shooters these days need to have multiple offerings. Xdefiant only has an arena shooter and needs something like BR or campaign or horde mode to go along with it. See, I disagree. I disagree with that, Krebsy. If you make a game for everybody, you're making a game for nobody. I think the best thing about Xdefiant is that it's a small little take of what. So people that want to play that, I say this all the time with Battlefield. Don't make Battlefield into Call of Duty. Just make Battlefield into Battlefield. Make Battlefield, whatever that is, what you want to play. Okay? If you make all of these games, all have a arena, all have a battle royale, all have a whatever open world-esque type of thing, then they're all the same. They're all the same. But if you want to be the best in the arena area, then make an arena. If you want to be an extractor, then make an extractor. Robert Jones says, I like Xdefiant, but if you spend money, you kill the grind. Okay. Jason says they get what they deserve. All those years slop finally caught up to them. I guess we'll see, right? East Vandal says, does side scrollers even play games? Wasn't Craig the one that's trying to griff a award show? Wasn't he supposed to? I don't know what that's about. I don't know anything about him about griffing awards. I mean, do you have to play games? I mean, you could just talk about games. I mean, if you have a source telling you that, yeah, this is the pre-orders that are going out, what does that have to do with him playing a game? Should have been made a new mode attached to Division 2. Use the same engine. Hilly says, this game was totally out of frame for me. Like, I get it, that the itch of Black Ops is coming. Right. I mean, look, you have something. How do you compete with Google? You know what I mean? COD is Google, basically, right? Everyone uses Google. Majority of the people use Google to search stuff, right? Sure, people use like Firefox or Yahoo or whatever, right? But how do you compete with something that's been established for so many years and everybody knows? Come on, J4. Eclipse says, I don't believe the servers are still messed up in Xdefiant. You think that would be the first priority, not the new season. Well, you know, that's what you would think because you're a gamer. The company's like, we don't need to fix that. Everyone's still playing it, even though if it's broke. Yeah, they don't care. What's going on, Mo? Yeah, AC Valhalla was one of their best games that they created. as far as financial wise. All right, we got we got the video from Legendary Drops. It's 22 minutes, which means we'll talk about it for about the next hour. We'll start that in just a little bit. Isn't Google getting sued? Yeah, Google gets sued all the time. And says Stuttering Craig has a separate channel specifically for gaming. Well, there you go. He says, I don't play these type of games anymore. But for me, to not even know what Xdefiant was until I heard you guys talking about it a couple months ago, that's not good. Well, to be fair, right? There's people. When we were talking to Chato, he was like, do you know this person? I was like, never heard of it. What was the person? Penguin, right? I've never heard of that person on the platform, right? So very popular. People are playing it, right? But don't know that person to watch those videos, right? Same thing goes with video games. You don't need to know about all the video games, but you're absolutely right, though, Z, right? If you're in that market and you don't play, like if people play those games, but they've never heard of it, they're like, the marketing is probably not the best for that. Mandel says, look it up, 30. Craig is totally a grifter. Look up his award show video or someone that covered the story. I'll look it up later. I'm not going to go down a rabbit hole right at this moment. Dolphin says Google gets sued once a month. I'm sure they get sued more than that. What's going on, Salty? He's creating an award show for gamers by gamers to cut out the political one run by Keeley. Okay, well there you go. So is that good or bad? Is that? I don't understand. So is it bad because he's making another award show? And let's be honest, I don't care whose award show it is. All award shows are just popular circumstance. You know what I mean? It's just like you're celebrating stuff. The only people that should have an award show for video game awards is the people that work in the industry themselves. Like pharmaceutical companies have award shows for top sellers that we know ever heard of. Penguin Zero is Moist Critical. Oh, okay. See, I know Moist Critical. Didn't know Penguin Zero was the same person. I've never heard of Penguin Zero as that. There you go. Travis says, 30, I can't stand the idea of them hiding those messages and being like, ha ha ha, you're stuck in the game now, bitch. Yeah, well. He thinks it's bad because he's charging for it. What is he charging for? Again, this is a person that knows nothing about what you guys are talking about. So you're saying that Craig is starting a video game award show and he's charging for it. Charging for what? Like to watch it? To be a part of it? I mean, Craig's been in the industry for like 15 years, right? He worked with all the other people that were working with like IGN back in the day. He knows a lot of insiders. Travis says, bro, you should have your own show called The Brokies. Yeah, we could have that. And this year's nomination for shittiest game of the year goes to, in the always fixing it department, this next category is for games that have been out for 3 to 5 years and still fixing it. Nominees are See, I think a grifter, Vandal, is someone that goes to like everything that you. So, for instance, a topic happens with a celebrity, and all of a sudden on my channel I talk about that celebrity, and then all of a sudden something happens with a lawsuit, and then I pick up that lawsuit, I start talking about that lawsuit, and then something happens in video game form, and then I talk about that video game, right? Like, you're talking about anything that's the topic to talk about, that would be considered a grifter. Now, if a person covers video games and they're covering video game stories, I don't really think that's grifter. I think that's current like topics for that channel. Now, for instance, my channel, I can literally talk about anything I want. I'm sort of a grifter, but I'm terrible at grifter because I don't actually make breakout videos of each topic and then a short of each topic and then all the other stuff, right? Grifters are just people that are basically entrepreneurs, right? They're just people that are trying to make it. They're hustlers. They're trying to make as much money as possible off what's top. What's the hot topic? Yeah, but okay. Just like microtransactions, though, if he's charging, and again, I don't know the story, so I'm going off basically what you guys are meal piecing it in the thing, right? If he's charging for something, what is the difference between charging to vote or buying a cosmetic in a microtransaction in a game? Now, I know you know where I stand, right? Like, I don't partake in that type of stuff, right? So if you want to vote and you go to his award show, you don't have to be a part of it. But if you want to be a part of it, then you can pay to vote, right? Travis says 30. Were you the person who the starting city in Starfield followed you into space? No, that didn't happen to me. We didn't have that many glitches in Starfield when we played. You're saying, huh? But what I'm saying, Vandal, is if you don't want to be a part of if you don't want to watch his stuff, then don't watch it. You see what I'm saying? What about if he made an award show for just his members and you had to pay $1 to get in? If you're a fan of his and you watch his stuff, then you would probably pay. Robert Jones says, sounds like he's using the votes to fund the award show. Who cares? I'm saying, if you watch that person. Mandel says, look it up, 30. We can talk about it later after you caught up with the topic. All right, that's fair. That's fair. Again, I'm only meal piecing it together what you guys are talking about. Credit says, y'all act like you're giving a shit about awards. Majority of the people just watch for game announcements. That's what I was saying. Nobody cares really about the awards. Like, I don't care about the fucking award shows. The ones that are official. You know. Salty says that's it. It's a funding mechanic. I'll look it up. I'll look it up and then we'll have a conversation once I find more about it. Someone give me a link to where I could start. Where I should start in Discord, and then I'll look it up later. Well, that's the way I look at it, right? If people want to support, the option to vote can pay, right? Like right now, right? What would be the difference if I do this every day for free? Okay, if I locked something behind, would I be a grifter, or would it be like okay for me to lock? Now, obviously, I wouldn't do that because I don't believe in that myself. But would that be bad if people that want to watch more of the show, they would pay for it? You know, each their own, right? People like to pay for gear in a game, and people don't like to pay for gear in game. If I want to watch more Netflix, I pay for Netflix. Right. Starts like official game rewards. Yeah. Al Dente says, I care about the rewards, though. I love seeing who wins, who gets snubbed, which game should have been least mentioned. Looking at you, Hogwarts Legacy. There is a part of us, right? Al Dente, like when I love that picture of look at him. So sexy. So sexy. Little shoulder, little shoulder action. When we were younger, we watched all those award shows, right? And it's a different landscape than it is today, right? So we love like the Emmys and the Oscars and all these other stuff. And it was cool to listen to like the speeches and the stuff like that. Now not so much. It's like the curtain was pulled back too far. You know? Crypto says paying also increasing the chances to vote being more authentic and adds more barriers to bots and memes and votes. Sure, but if someone, again, I don't know how much he's charging, but let's say I got a lot of money and every dollar I vote, I can vote. You can manipulate the voting process. Now, even if it's one vote per email, you know what I mean? Again, I don't know anything. I'm just saying I can see why people are doing that. But even if it was free, people could submit their email and make 1,000 emails and submit and vote. And this is why just the thought process of it should be voted on the people that actually make the games for the people that make the games, not by the you could have a viewer choice thing, but you're never going to stop the voting process to be swayed in some way, shape, or form. It becomes a popularity contest. Jason says, never forget how they snubbed Hogwarts and didn't even acknowledge it. Oh, I remember. Pepperidge Farms remembers. We don't care about the Game of the Year show, just like we don't care about game reviews, but the casuals do, and the casuals are swayed by these things. Absolutely. You're absolutely right about that, right? More and more people don't know about what's behind the curtain, right? They just watch the show to be entertained, like Al Dente was saying. Like, he watches it just to see who wins, who loses, have that. It's fun. It's like people watching sports and talking about when the coach fucks up on a play or does something wrong, and then we're not on the field, right? But we like bantering back and forth about what could have been better, right? Who could have been better? Oh, this guy's awesome. What he could do? What's the potential of this, right? Like, we like that type of stuff. And I totally get that. But you're absolutely right, Vandal, right? The casual person is swayed by stuff like this. But again, if those people like that, then just let them be, right? Let them support or watch or whatever they want to do. A big company's HR department has access to all the employee emails, so they don't even need to ask them to vote. In that case. True. Eclipse says, well, it happens now, the rewards, so that it's just about the rewards and no one watches it. Everyone else just watches the game rewards. Wait a minute, let me read that again. Well, it happens now, there's a reward, so that just about the rewards and no one watches it. Everyone just watches the game awards. Oh, right. Like the BAFTRAs, you're saying that there's actual awards like the BAFTRAs and stuff like that, but people will just watch Keeley's award show, right? That's the official award show. Like whatever happens there, that's like, it's in the museum, right? That's what happens. Yeah, I'm the red pill, Salty. What one day they'll wake up. If someone comes in here, they'll wake up. I'm the red pill. Chavez says this year games of the year even has Shadows entry controversy as DLC. It'll be the last straw. Well, didn't Resident? It wasn't DLC. Resident Evil got nominated last year, and that was a remaster, right? You mean the advertisement awards? Yes. Where we watch the commercials or the actual award show, but the award show is the actual commercials, right? It's like the opposite It's like we're there to watch, see who wins, but they advertise, and they just fill in the advertisements with the awards, not the opposite way around, where it's about the award show and the advertisements fill in the gaps. It's the opposite. Remake, not a remaster. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't think remakes should get in there either, which I said last year. Remakes, remasters should not be in the running. Just my thought process. All right, let me make sure I get this screen capture going here. Talk about that. Share that. All right. All right. Let's watch this. We'll pause that music. This is Legendary Drops, who is absolutely blowing up. He's 171,000, makes great content. I would love to get him on the show and talk to him, right? He does like essay type of stuff, breakdown type of stuff. So let's watch him. Why isn't it not going full screen? Okay, it goes to full screen. All right, here we go.
Fall of Ubisoft. I had both current and former Ubisoft developers reach out for comment. Today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about the issues that the studios face today from the perspective of their own employees. Everything from Me Too movement allegations to agenda-driven content. I want to contrast the comments made in these interviews with what we've seen from Assassin's Creed Shadows and Star Wars Outlaws. This company has a deep-rooted leadership issue, going as far to...
Now, we've talked about this in the past. We've talked not about Ubisoft, but just companies, the behind the scenes, management is the issue. Management is the issue, not the worker bees. Now, I'm not saying that the people in there, like if they're activists or stuff like that, embedded into the actual thing, that's not who makes the upper management makes the issues. Upper management makes the problems solves the issues. And a lot of these companies just have really bad upper management for whatever reason.
To think that the vast majority of online criticism is just a toxic minority of gamers. This company and its leadership think that they are on the righteous path. Little do they know, it's a dead end. Assassin's Creed Shadows has been steeped in controversy and criticism since its initial reveal. Online discourse surrounding the game has been almost entirely negative, with long-term fans of the franchise, general audience, and Japanese audiences up in arms over the creative liberties that Ubisoft has taken with the depiction of Yasuke, the fabled Black Samurai, and feudal Japan. Japanese creators, as well as just random bystanders, have taken to Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube and Reddit, voicing their concerns offended by the game's representation of their history and culture. Inaccuracies like using Chinese architecture instead of Japanese, the legitimacy and relevance of the game's protagonist, Yasuke, and even going as far as stealing a flag and imagery from the Sekihara Teppo Tai, a historical reenactment group where the company had to formally apologize for not asking for permission to use their materials.
That's crazy to me, right? And I've talked about this in the past as well, right? I compared like the film industry to what YouTubers do. And where if I was in the film industry and I had to film somewhere, I had to get like a location paper, signers. I had to get all the people to sign waivers in the background and whatnot, like all of this. But YouTubers can just film wherever they want, right? That's what this reminds me of, where a corporation, a company, Ubisoft, okay, that they didn't ask permission for anything. They just kind of just did it. And they just like asked for forgiveness later type of shit. And this blows my mind how a corporation skips these things, okay, where they didn't reach out and be like, hey, this is real or not. They just tell you, oh, yeah, we're very official historians and whatnot.
Ubisoft's adventure into Japanese history has been a complete disaster, and it's only going to get worse. On September 11th of 2024, an article was penned by the New York Times titled "The Fight Over a Black Samurai in Assassin's Creed." The writer, Zachary Small, misrepresents the controversy and player concerns as merely those of a toxic minority of angry Western gamers, and the entire time he fixates on the race of Yasuke and not the broader implications at play in Ubisoft's mishandling and the frank disrespect for Japanese culture and history.
That's another thing, right? All these goddamn journalists, right? They got to find a problem. And the problem is never the companies. It's never the upper management. It's never the corporations that do it. It's you. It's me. It's everybody else. We're the problem. We are the problem, not the solution, by the way. We're not the people that buy their games to make the corporations the money that they make, to make millions and billions of dollars, to keep making the games they want to make. We're not the we're never the saviors of their company, right? We're always the problem. Now, especially people like myself, that has nothing to do with it. And I'm not offended in any way, shape, or form. Let me just make that clear. Okay. A white man, okay, that is keeping everybody down. Okay. Where all I want to do is play a freaking video game. All I want to do is play a video game. Mind you, I wasn't going to buy this regardless, because Assassin's Creed to me has been dead for about, 10 years. Okay. This is not to say that people that like Assassin's Creed can't like Assassin's Creed. By all means, like what you like, play what you want to play, but don't be naive when it comes to certain things being pushed on as an agenda, and then it's never their issue. It's always on us, right? We'll take the blame, but we'll never get the success of, we made them successful.
This article was a collaboration between Ubisoft and the New York Times in an attempt to redirect the discussions surrounding Assassin's Creed Shadows and minimize the feedback. The writer spoke with Kazuma Hashimoto, a consultant and translator for the games industry, later to be found out to be an employee of Sweet Baby Incorporated that did consultant work for Ubisoft. But Hashimoto claimed that it was people in the West who were upset with seeing Yasuke as a samurai, and that many of the online negative comments were written in Japanese, appeared to be roughly translated from English, effectively hand-waving the increasingly loud and valid concerns of the Japanese, asserting that it's all made-up outrage. Nothing more than the gamers' war against DEI or inclusivity in video games.
Yeah, and if that was the case, then why would they be so scared of the small minority group that doesn't like their games, doesn't like what they're doing? If it's just a small portion of a thing, then how come, just, speculation? Why was the game pushed back? It wasn't because of low sales of pre-orders. It wasn't because of all the drama that was going on. It was that they had to polish the game. Okay. We'll see.
I find it all too poetic and predictable for a AAA publisher to brush off player concerns and use their connections in the media to try to steer public discourse and sentiment into a favorable direction. All of these claims made by the New York Times, as well as other writers, are patently false. You can see the criticisms of Ubisoft's recent releases and the future release in Assassin's Creed Shadows everywhere. It's impossible to ignore. Videos and promotional material ratioed by dislikes and comments in mass numbers. Videos like mine and many others reaching widespread appeal because we have that many people that agree or share similar opinions. With that said, I couldn't imagine that it was possible for anyone to ignore this level of feedback, and Ubisoft has to be seeing it. So
here's the thing. Do you know why they got rid of the dislike buttons? Do you know why they got rid of certain things for films where you can't have bad reviews, where they hide them? And when they can't hide them, they call them bots, and they call them review bombing and all this other stuff, right? They got rid of the dislikes to protect the business, right? Because the business have insiders. Now, I'm not saying all journalists are connected to it, but all journalist entities are connected in some way, shape, or form, because obviously they want to make money. So the journalists also want to make money. That's why when you go to their sites, they have ads all over the place, right? Because that's how they get seen. Okay. These organizations, these developers, these companies, these publishers, they push it out to them, and they're working hand in hand. Okay. More times than not, they work hand in hand because it's beneficial for them and them. Okay. Well, the problem is that the internet is the catalyst that stops all this from happening. Okay. We, just like I don't want to talk about politics, but in real life, okay, when a group of people get together and say, F you, we're not doing this, things change. You can look at it in history, overseas, over here, wherever. Large amounts of people that say and complain about stuff get shit done. Okay. And if this wasn't the case, then they wouldn't be worried because it was just a small minority. They wouldn't have moved it, right? If the small minority was the problem, then they wouldn't have delayed the game.
I spoke with a few developers from Ubisoft to shed some light on these issues. I started off by asking how Ubisoft internalizes and discusses general criticism from players and the rest of the industry, whether that's its repetitive design, agenda-driven content, or predictable games. They responded saying, at a high level, they rarely talk about it. At a project level, they brush it off as toxic gamer talk. As Asmongold correctly pointed out in a video of his, Ubisoft is filled with toxic positivity that prevents any growth. I then
right, you can't talk about anything negative. If you talk about stuff negative, it hurts people's feelings. We don't want to waste money by talking about people's feelings. We just want to make money. Oh, what's that? Oh, fuck them. That's the small minority. We don't care about that. Wait, the majority's not buying our game? Wait, what's the problem? I didn't see a problem. Did you, Jeeves? I didn't.
And asked, what about the Japanese community's backlash over Assassin's Creed Shadows? It's obvious that they haven't done their research, and even the smallest details are going to be noticed by a culture that's as proud as the Japanese. They responded by saying that the criticisms haven't been talked about, and they've only issued demands that we mustn't engage with discussion on that topic publicly.
There's a rug. Let's just sweep it underneath the rug. Hey, there's a group of people, a large majority of people. They're responding to the criticism. Let's not talk about that. It's not happening. Fire outside the window. Game's broke, buggy, and as a consumer, broke, buggy, and unfinished. No. My game's fine. We don't care about the mass market of people that are the game is broken, buggy. Let's just sweep that underneath the rug. Now, in the inside the actual development, they're like, there's a lot of people talking about the game. Is there? Well, let's just sweep it underneath the rug. Let's not engage in the discussion of these topics publicly.
Meaning everything that we've set up into this point, all the criticism that we've had over the years for Ubisoft games, even that of the industry itself, has fallen on deaf ears. I don't know if it's sad or if it's somewhat, it's somewhat cathartic to have that validated.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Because we know we're not crazy.
I mean, it's the main complaint that the vast majority of gamers have had over the years, which is that these companies aren't listening to us. And in this case, I have developers that are telling me, yeah, they're not listening to you.
Yeah. Hey, these guys are not listening to us. Are you sure? I think it's all made up, 30. These guys are 100%. They're on our side. They're on our side. Are they? Are they on our side? Because all we're asking for is make a game, sell a game, right? All we want is a game to be made, sell us that game, and then let us play our game and go in peace, right? Thank you for the game. Here's our money. Let me play your game. Man, this game's good. Man, this game's not good. Let us just play the game. Nope. Can't be that way. Either the game is immaculate and amazing on their end, or we're sexist, racist, or misogynistic assholes.
One, because they don't want to take criticism, and two, because they don't know how to differentiate bad from good criticism. I think this is my patented...
All criticism's bad. That's the problem, right? All criticism's bad. Even though the people that are criticizing stuff is why there's patches, is why games get fixed. Because of people like you and me that complain about things like this is not working correctly, and people that actually listen fix the things, and that's why there's patches.
Catchphrase by now, but when you have this much negative discourse surrounding your games, you need to be listening, regardless of whether or not it's good or bad feedback in your eyes, regardless if you align with these people's political beliefs or social political beliefs.
Real quick, Vandal says, let me bring this up. Vandal says, I mean, this is normal corporate, right? If you go and talk publicly about the company you work for, you'll probably get fired. This isn't exclusively to game industry. No, absolutely right. The problem is that the people that are working in the industry are tired of this. There's people slowly being pushed and they're just tired of it. They're like, the reason I got into game development is to make a game, to make good games for people that like games. The consumers that like games, all we want to do is play games. We get away from reality. We get away from, maybe you're divorced. Maybe you're having stress issues at work. Maybe all these other things. And you just want to take a moment, right? You come home, kids are in bed, wife's asleep, husband's asleep, on vacation, whatever it is. And you just want an hour, 2 hours to break free from the everyday monotonous work of life that's just beating you down and shitting on you every single day. And now the thing that you're getting away from is now doing it to you there as well. And they're like, fuck you. I just want to play a video game. Stop pushing this shit on us. I just want to play a video game.
Whatever it might be. None of that matters. When you have your games on fire as much as Ubisoft games have been lately, you need to put those fires out somehow. And the only way that you can do that is by listening to them and implementing whatever feedback you possibly can into your games to make them better. Regardless, the other thing is, I'm sorry. I am disgusted by the blatant, feigned virtue over how much they care about Japanese culture and history. I'm sorry.
Right.
You are bastardizing Japanese culture and history for profit. That's what you're trying to do here.
It's the same thing Disney did with the Black Panther 2. They could have recasted, right? They could have recasted Chadwick Boseman, but no, they monetized Chadwick Boseman's passing. Okay. They weren't doing anything other. They didn't care. Let's be honest. They didn't care. Right? The companies that put the rainbows in their thing or Black Lives Matter in their profile, Twitter or Facebook or whatever, they don't care. That is all marketing. That is all advertisement. That is all, hey, look, we care. They don't give two shits. They don't give two shits. And if you think they do, well, you're naive.
You're not trying to make a history piece. We know that. It's very loosely based on Japanese culture and history. Look at you guys. You put out a Torii Gate figurine, a half Torii Gate figurine with your characters on it without knowing the cultural relevance of the half Torii Gate after Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Do you have any idea what that means to these people? What's wrong with you?
Right, Jason? If they love Chadwick so much, why did they cover his face in China? Because they love money more. And people in China don't like that. So that's why they covered his face. Because they both love money.
At the end of the day, it all comes down to leadership. When you look at Ubisoft's messaging, the lackluster delivery of titles like Xdefiant and Star Wars Outlaws, the inaccuracies and screw-ups with Assassin's Creed Shadows, you see a developer.
Hold on a second. If the companies cared so much about LGBTQ and diversity and Black Lives Matter and all this other stuff, then why are their profiles only switched during certain months? Why is that? Why don't they have it out right now for their portfolio and on their profile or whatnot? Right? Why do they change it only for like it's a holiday, like it's a fucking Hallmark card? Like they're like, oh, it's Christmas. Let's put some Christmas trees in our thing. Oh, it's Black History Month. Let's put our little Black History Month thing in the thing. Right? It's amazing. It's amazing because they don't care.
That has no clear plan or vision for what players want, what good games look like, or how to even do their job. I took the time to talk to the Ubisoft developers about workplace culture, about the initiative that they've taken for diversity hiring and what happens behind the scenes at Ubisoft. And it's wild to see how accurate some of the assumptions that have been made by myself and others. Now, continuing my conversation with one of the developers, I wanted to find more about the workplace structure and management. And seeing as though the company has had initiatives that have been put in place to make the workplace a little bit more diverse, I asked, what benefits have you seen? Is there more diversity in thought, or is it creating a more one-sided environment? They said that so far the initiative hasn't had any impact on the team that I'm a part of. However, it's clear that some topics are taboo. What happened is now that people end up in a meeting with HR for trivial stuff, not adding smiley faces to a message or adding an exclamation point at the end of a message because some people are reporting it for harassment.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Soft snowflakes. Okay. Some topics are taboo. And what happens is now that people end up in the meeting with HR for trivial stuff, not adding a smiley face in a message and adding an exclamation point to end the message. Holy shit. I swear to God. Everyone needs to get punched in the face once in their life. Everyone needs to get punched at least once in the face. Dead in the face. So they understand what life is.
One of the things that wasn't in your video is that Ubisoft had some controversy during the Me Too period, letting go of a manager in high positions, and some left on their own because they knew they'd be discovered. I then asked, what was the impact of this in the workplace? They responded by saying the editorial direction and overall mindset shifted from the boys club to safe content. Reaching for plain characters like Kay and Star Wars is a perfect example of this. The idea to have beautiful characters such
Oh, I think it was in Demion's video as well, if I'm not mistaken, talking about Kay from Star Wars. Kay was supposed to be one. It was supposed to be, I believe, a man at first, and then they changed it to, I believe, an Asian woman. But then they changed it, and then they brought in Umberly to voice her. And this is why we have the character that we have with her face, because they were trying to make the most ambiguous person possible in the game, because they didn't know what they wanted. They're like, well, let's put this person in, let's put this person in, and that is the reason, speculatively, okay, why she doesn't look like the actress. Because they didn't want to narrow it down to a person. They just wanted to make it just whatever. Hence why her face was so weird throughout the entire playthrough.
such as Baldur's Gate or Uncharted is met with distrust. The developer shared sentiment saying that safe content also leads to limited opportunities on the gameplay side. Even for Star Wars, we had to work with Disney, which would have shut down most attempts at depicting a true criminal underworld with cruelty and drama. When you put this developer's perspective in line with the recent failures and controversies at Ubisoft or any AAA developer at this point, it all makes sense. An overcorrection in sensitivity brought on by the boys club days that many studios experienced during their early years. As such, many games today lack the teeth and grit that players crave because those things are seen as problematic or unsafe to make in the workplace. Don't use emojis or exclamation points. You could offend someone. Holy shit. How soft have we gotten? It reminds me of the time where the Helldivers 2 community manager went on a ban spree on their Discord because players were using a throw-up emoji on furry art that was posted in their Discord. Sometimes people need to be offended.
Yes. Yes, sometimes people do need to be offended. And again, being offended is always taken, never given. Okay? Because you could always offend anybody for anything that you say, right? I could say that I like blue, I hate red. And someone will be like, I like red. How dare you say that you don't like red, right? Fuck you, 30. Red is awesome. Blue sucks. And you're like, oh, okay. Now someone's going to take that and be like, did he say he liked blue? I knew he was a fucking liberal, right? Someone's going to take that.
Well, I'm going to try to resist the pull yourself up by your bootstraps tirade. Friction on some levels is necessary in life. Now, that doesn't mean that people should be allowed to openly harass others, but there are major issues that arise when you have emojis that can get you fired. This overreaction and overcorrection leads to a workplace that is actively hostile towards freedom of thought, expression, and criticism. As one of the interviewees mentioned earlier, they noticed a culture of toxic positivity.
El Dente, you only like blue because of your balls, you cuck.
From my perspective, toxic positivity is fake people saying fake things, and in the case of Ubisoft, making fake products. Nobody wants to live their entire life being terrified that someone is going to misunderstand them. And when you're at a studio like Ubisoft and you're not even allowed to make characters attractive, otherwise it might upset people at the studio, you have a problem.
Yeah, you have a massive problem. You can't make someone attractive because someone that's not attractive is going to get offended. If you know you're not attractive, it's just the truth. It's just the truth. Right? Do I look like Brad Pitt? No. Right? I don't. But if someone says I'm ugly or whatever, why do I give a shit about what that person thinks of me? You know what I mean? It makes no sense to me. If I get offended, if someone calls me ugly, I'm like, I'm not ugly. I'm referring to them as, and I'm making them reality because they say something and then I get offended by it, which means that what they're saying is truthful. Okay. Where if I don't acknowledge it, then it's just a thing. It's just a thing. Be like, whatever. To get offended over something means that you think it's real, right? If I call you fat or ugly, or skinny, you're anorexic, whatever it is, and you get offended by that, that means you think of that yourself, and that's why you get offended.
This culture of fear and forced uniformity stifles creativity and innovation. It's no wonder that Ubisoft is struggling to produce anything.
Yeah, Mo, look at that face. That is one sexy motherfucker right there. That is one sexy motherfucker.
Thing of real substance when their own developers are walking on eggshells, more worried about HR complaints than creating groundbreaking games. How can you make bold, impactful content when every idea is scrutinized for being too risky, too offensive, or too unsafe? It's a workplace where mediocrity is rewarded and where pushing boundaries, the very things that games are supposed to do, is seen as a liability. This workplace culture, this overreaction and overcorrection has infected just about every single industry that's out there. I worked in construction for 7 years up until...
I wouldn't have pegged him as a construction worker. But then again, I've worked on roofs and I've done construction myself.
Last December, and the company that I worked for was more afraid of HR issues than they were of injuries.
That's funny, because as a construction worker, you're getting injured in some way, shape, or form. In some way, shape, or form, you are getting injured. Okay. And they were more worried about HR complaints. Okay. Hence why boys will be boys. Okay. And on a construction site, I'm pretty sure they say some raunchy stuff because there's no women around. And if there is a woman around, they're pretty tough. Okay. Because I've seen construction women before. I used to do demolition and stuff. I used to build the stuff for Universal's Halloween Horror Nights and stuff like that. And we were on a scenic crew, and we would build the haunted houses, and 99.9% of the crew is men. So you're saying what men do, bullshit, whatever, be offended. We don't get offended. Okay. But then you have that outsider that comes in that wants to work on something. Okay. And they might get offended. Like, these two guys are talking about, oh, it's unheard of. Right. And they get offended. And this is why certain jobs are not for certain people, not because of their race or sex, just because they're just too soft.
We worked with hydrogen sulfide and hydrogen cyanide, gases that, if released, could kill half of a city.
And they're worried about the HR, not about killing half of a city for what they're working with. They're worried about Timmy being reported because in an email, he didn't put a smiley face.
You know, we've discussed modern audiences, the mythical, magical modern audiences and soft modern games. We found the audience. It's the people that are running these companies nowadays. You have folks that are walking around on eggshells, afraid to say anything.
Yeah.
Anecdotal, but just like a few weeks ago or a month ago or so, I remember I was live streaming and instinctively I said something was retarded.
Uh-oh. Who uses the word retarded? Oh, I do? Oh, I want to hear him now.
I'm a millennial. We all grew up saying it. It's a product of my upbringing. Say what you will. I didn't say it consciously. It just came out.
Even if you did, it's okay.
And one of my chatters pops up and says, how often do you say that word?
I don't know. Once a day. In stream. When it's needed.
I ban the fuck out of them.
Good for you. Good for you.
Get the fuck out of here with that. Are you kidding me? People that are out there that are waiting, prepared to be offended.
Yep. Just waiting in the back. They're silent. They don't say a goddamn thing. They're here for 365 days. They sit in the back. They lurk. They say nothing. And then you say the word and they go, how dare you?
I'm sick of it. You cannot have workplaces that are out there where every single thing that you say, you have to watch every word that comes out of your mouth. Otherwise, it could be your livelihood. And I'm not saying that you can walk around saying anything.
No, of course not. There's consequences. It's all about context also, right? If you're being retarded and it fits, well, that's what it is, right? You just don't walk up to somebody and especially in public and say the word to somebody and not expect to get punched in the face, right? Like, if you say that in certain situations, you're going to get hit. You're going to get yelled at. You're going to get something's going to happen, right? Freedom of speech and the consequences of your speech are two different things. Okay? Two different things. Okay? And if I say that this phone's not working, it's retarded, is this phone offended? No, it's a piece of gear. It doesn't give a shit. Okay? But because I use the word retarded for a device or a company or something, everyone's like, how dare you? Now let's go back to what I was saying before. If I use that word or he uses that word and you're offended, then you think that to yourself that you're retarded.
Not what this is. Everybody knows. I think that's the most frustrating part when you have these kind of conversations is that you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I do, Legendary. I know what you're talking about.
Intellectual dishonesty around this kind of thing is just, it's fucking mind-boggling. We have workplace environments that actively work against any type of creative or constructive criticism. That's how you get games like this. This is how games and products are being ruined over time, is because nobody's allowed to criticize things properly. You have people in the workplace that are like, I don't think these characters are going to be received well by the fans, but they're not allowed to say anything about it. They can't say it's not hot enough. It's not math.
Right. They can't say that. Well, I don't really think that character's sexy enough. You can't say those words, 30. You can't say sex. There's people out there that get offended. Take that back. Oh, I'm sorry. She's not subpar enough.
Masculine enough. They can't say that because it's problematic to say so. Tame and safe are the antonyms of exciting and daring. Baldur's Gate 3 was exciting and daring. Star Wars Outlaws, tame and safe. Whether it's their poor job at representing Japan or the trailers of Assassin's Creed, there are clearly levels of incompetency at work. As many players have pointed...
I love this clip that he's showing. Literally jumped down off a thing in front of somebody, and that NPC didn't see it. Chat, what is that NPC? What is that NPC?
Pointed out in the game trailers, the promotional materials that are meant to sell the game, you can see frame rate issues, texture issues, poor collision detection, weapons clipping through characters, and more. Controversies aside, this game doesn't look like it's ready for launch, and in fact...
Jones, I just read what you said. You were hanging out with your sister yesterday. I asked her if she watched the new Penguin show, and she said, I don't really watch a show if the main character is ugly. Does she know it's Colin Farrell?
Its developer just recently came out and canceled their appearance at Tokyo Game Show and announced that the game would be delayed until February. Along with the delay, Ubisoft CEO recently issued a memo to their employees that ended up getting leaked public.
Doesn't that face just tell you, yeah, I fucked up? What? That's what that. And I'm still rich.
And it showcases just how out of touch this company is with their players. Rather than acknowledging their real missteps, they're clinging to critic scores, pointing out Star Wars Outlaws had a solid 76 on Metacritic. Oh, I didn't know that you were trying to sell the game to game reviewers. That makes a lot of sense, seeing as though that you're completely ignoring player feedback.
Right. Making the game for game reviewers and not for the gamers themselves. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. What a day we live in.
Clearly shows that your game is hovering in mediocrity. Even worse, they believe that Black Friday sales are somehow going to magically turn things around, not realizing that no amount of discounting will make up for a product that fundamentally misses the mark and nobody's interested in. The memo reads more like a corporate spin than a genuine reflection of failure. No mention of the controversies or deeper issues that are plaguing the company. They talk about how all players want are highly polished games on launch day, when the truth is players are craving meaningful, risk-taking, authentic content, things that Ubisoft hasn't seen in decades. Even in their own memo to their own employees, they can't speak frankly about their mistakes. This sanitized messaging shows just...
No, because acknowledging that you made a mistake proves that you made a mistake. If you don't reference the mistake, it wasn't their fault. It was us. The reason it underperformed is because of misogynistic people and bigots out there. It didn't underperform because we made a bad product, right? In the film industry, we didn't fail with the show because it was bad writing and bad filmmaking. It's because of the racists and bigots out there, okay? The steak wasn't undercooked because of the chef. It was it was bad because the guy eating it was racist and misogynistic. That damn bigot.
How deeply disconnected the company is from the people that it should be listening to, the players. Interested in the perspective of the employees who received this memo, I had a few questions on their thoughts of the messaging and the leadership of the company. I asked, what has been the message from management to the staff about Ubisoft?
What message?
Declining sales. What do they believe is the reason behind it? They responded, the fun fact is they don't talk much about it. They mainly focus on the fact that they reached their financial objectives, which are mainly...
The fun fact is that they don't talk much about it. They mainly focus on the fact that they reached out to financial objectives. These are mainly achieved through casual player sales, not the vocal gaming community that is really sick of what they describe in your video. Yeah. It's not the minority. It's not the vocal minority. It's the majority. Hence why your game didn't sell.
Achieved through casual player sales, not the vocal gamer minority that are sick of what you described in your video. Also, something to know is that through the years, the number of management floors has increased to ridiculous amounts. So communication is often blurry.
What do they put like a man? They put the assistant manager on floor 2 and then the other guy on 3, but the guy on 3 never comes down to 2 and the guy on 2 never goes up to 3, right? So there's like this barrier. They're like, hey, did you talk? Well, I got to go up the elevator and, you know, I can't do that. You know, just hello? Oh, yeah? No, we have a problem. Oh, I'll be right down. No, that doesn't happen anymore.
Unless they come directly from HQ. And even then, it's almost entirely corpo bullshit that isn't useful in the end. I asked another employee to verify the increase in management at the company, fearing that this is likely one of the biggest issues that's facing the company, seeing that lack of clear and creative vision. They painted a picture of a company that's not only overrun with management, but that's passively aggressive about removing higher paid and talented employees while slotting in underskilled and unexperienced management at a cheaper rate.
Well, that's because they worked hard to get where they were, and now they don't want to lose their job. So they have to lose out the lower paid people, right? I mean, think about it. No matter what you do, okay, no matter what you do, the people that have been there, for, let's say a person worked in the company for 10 years. Now they got promoted to management, right? It goes down, shit falls downwards, right? So, for instance, I'll give you an example in my industry. I had a first, my camera operator, when I was the first AC, when I was his second, right? When I was the second AC, my first AC was industry for like 20 years, right? And I was brand new. And his mentor shit on him, right? So he shit on me. And the problem with that is no matter what I did, and if I did it perfectly, doesn't matter if I thought 3 steps ahead, no matter what I did, he would get mad at me because he couldn't. So if I thought 2 steps ahead and did everything that I thought he was going to say, he would be like, well, why did you do it so fast? Right? He would always give me shit just to give me shit. Okay. And it's like a badge of honor, I guess you can say, right? Because the entire time he's doing this to me over the years, 5 years I worked for the man. Love the dude. Love the dude. Okay. He got promoted. And when he got promoted, guess who also got promoted? Okay. Because wherever he got the job, he would call me to be his first because I got his respect. For him shitting on me the entire time, okay, I got his respect. Now, a normal person would probably be like, I don't like this dude. This dude's fucking picking on me every single minute. But it is, Sarge. It's a rite of passage. Not to say it's right or wrong, but that's what it is. So when these people get into a management position, they feel like it's their time. They're entitled where they can also now shit on people. Okay. Right. Robert Jones says that sounds retarded. Well, it is what it is, right? It is what it is.
They claim that Ubisoft as an employer shows little regard for their developers. What happens in practice is that they essentially push out senior engineers promoting junior engineers to senior roles after just a few years of experience.
That's also another problem. Skipping, right? So let me read it. He's reading it, but I'm going to read it again out loud. All right. Ubisoft as an employer shows little regard to its development. What happens is in practice is they essentially push out a senior engineer because he costs too much money, promoting a junior developer, right? Bringing him up, and he has no experience. They've skipped a step. They haven't been there long enough, but they show in, really hardworking aspects. So they promote them, and they're so not prepared to what they do, it makes bad management. Okay. No offense. There are people that are younger that can be management material, but majority of the people that become management material are people that are underbaked. They just haven't experienced enough. They haven't seen stuff. Okay. So when they get into that position, they don't know what, and they're over their head. They're drowning. So to do what they're doing, they just fire people or get rid of people or say certain things. And that's where the bad management comes from.
Oftentimes with experience in just one engine. Meanwhile, experienced developers with far broader skill sets are being overlooked. This constant cycle of turnover with inexperienced leaders leads to noticeable drops in quality, with bugs appearing in their games. The passionate, dedicated developers leave, while those who are just going through the motions stay behind. This doesn't just affect the technical quality of their games, but also impacts the design and creativity. For instance, you'll find designers working on FPS mechanics who have never played an FPS game before, or engineers who don't understand how the mechanics they're building are supposed to feel. There's a lack of passion and skill across the board, and the results are obvious. That line about designers working on FPS games and leading FPS projects struck a chord with me. Not long ago, Ubisoft released Xdefiant, a military shooter that was meant to compete with the likes of Call of Duty. However, since the game's release, they've lost the vast majority of their player base, with Ubisoft claiming that the game isn't dying, despite it reportedly losing 94% of its players on Xbox. Why is Xdefiant ran into so many issues? Netcode, hit register.
Yeah, the netcode was broke. We did a video 11 months ago, and I actually said this game shouldn't be relaunched or released because the netcode is broke, and they should just take their time and make the game. And they didn't do that. They brought it out, and it was broke, buggy, unfinished. Still has the same problems it has 11 months ago.
Registration and general shooter gameplay issues. Common problems that are normally ironed out well before a game ever hits the market, especially a shooter. It's core to the gameplay. If you're playing a live service shooter, all you do is shoot. That's the gameplay. But when the shooting doesn't work, you don't have a game. Ubisoft's leadership is completely disconnected from the reality of game development and player expectations. The problems stem from a bloated management structure that's prioritizing reaching financial targets through casual player sales, rather than listening to the core gaming community that's sick of their tired formulas. Even their own developers are frustrated as they watch as talented senior engineers are pushed out of the studios and inexperienced juniors are promoted far too quickly, leading to a noticeable drop in quality. It's no wonder their games are riddled with bugs and lack any real innovation. This company is more focused on appearances rather than creating meaningful, engaging content. The quality of their game.
You understand though, Poe, that you understand that he interviewed actual developers that were, anonymous, that came forward to talk about the back. He's not making this stuff up. He talked to people. I mean, I guess he could be, right? But he talked to people that are working for the company, and the people in the company are telling him these things. And then from what they're telling him, he's saying his part. Sort of like what I'm doing right now, right? Like we're watching his content, and then I'm giving you my point of view, my experience and stuff with other industries that do the exact same type of stuff. This is not just like made up stuff that he's talking about.
Games doesn't matter as long as they aren't offending anyone. When you see the issues that plague Assassin's Creed Shadows, the pandering, the generic virtue, the lies, the cover-ups, and the lack of understanding of what they're apparently inspired by, when you see how safe and tame, how boring, buggy, and soulless Star Wars Outlaws is, when you see how their most anticipated shooter in Xdefiant is riddled with the most common issues, bugs, all kinds of different things that normal shooters would never have on day one, that's made by developers and led by developers that haven't even played an FPS game, you see a studio and a publisher that lacks integrity and a spine. Cowards in leadership roles, afraid to loosen their grip on the wheel. Developers afraid to...
Yeah, but you're taking this is what we call, and I'm not making fun of you. In my chat, we call you a trash defender. Okay. I like Star Wars. I played 50, 60 hours of Star Wars, beat the campaign, thought it was a good game. Okay. What he's talking about and the company's talking about, the company has already acknowledged that the game is not working as intended, as it's supposed to come out. Okay. So it was a soulless type of game because they didn't do what they wanted to do. They pushed it out as fast as possible, and now they're making the patches and fixes to fix the game as it goes. To say that a game is soulless and to say that it's a bad game is not taking anything away from you personally. That if you like that game and play that game, okay, you can like that game, right? I like bad games, right? There's some games out there that were terrible. I enjoyed them, okay? But to say that they're not bad or soulless or give criticism in any way is being a trash knight, right? You're defending something because you spent money on it, not because of anything else, right? You feel that if someone's making fun of something that you spent your money on, then you get defensive about it. Like, no, I liked it. I enjoyed it. Okay. It's a good game. That's still a good game for you. No matter what he says, it's still a game that you enjoyed, and it doesn't change that.
To speak out and unable to express any of their creativity. Franchises destined for obscurity. Ubisoft isn't just losing its way, it's already lost. And the only thing left is to watch it burn. You know, it's crazy to speculate about these kind of things, but it's an entirely different beast to find out what you've been believing this entire time is absolutely true. And I want to take the time to thank the developers that reached out to me. It was daring for them to do something like that. Obviously, their identities are being kept secret for very obvious reasons. Most of these folks could lose their job over having these kind of discussions. But keep in mind, what's really sad about this is that there are developers that are working at these studios that want to see things change, that want to fix things, that see these obvious issues, but they're not allowed to do anything about it.
Right.
That sucks. That's something that all of us can empathize with. I'm pretty sure that anybody that's watching this video right now has likely worked with some level of management that took them in the wrong direction, and led them down the wrong path. You know, the biggest issue for Ubisoft is that the damage is already done.
What does any of that have to do with his takes on interviewing developers? The dude has a guitar behind him. Oh, I'm a fucking musician. What a fucking insecure retard hipster fuck. Interesting. That's an interesting take. Everything that you just said there, I could think of you the same way because of the incoherency of what is the background of what he's doing have anything to do with what he's saying, though. It's just so weird.
Brand is already torched. Their name and their reputation is in shambles by now. And looking at
look at that shirt he's wearing. Unbelievable.
Looking and seeing that
he's got a cat. Oh.
Have pushed back Assassin's Creed Shadows, it's for obvious reasons. While they're going to say that it's for fixing issues in the game, there's issues that we saw in the trailers, so that's totally believable. The game likely does need more time in the oven more than anything else. But outside of that, I really think it's just them trying to distance it from all of the bad press, because there's a lot of people that have been talking.
Yeah, you can't have more than one hobby. You can only have one hobby at a time.
Talking about Ubisoft, there's a lot of people that
he probably speaks multiple languages too. Ugh, disgusting.
That have been talking about Assassin's Creed Shadows, and it doesn't look good. And pushing it all the way to February, I don't think any of that's going to change anything. If anything, seeing how often they like to put their own foot in their mouth when it comes to Assassin's Creed Shadows, you're just giving me and a bunch of other content creators more time to farm you more than anything else. I was talking to one of the developers about the delay, and they're like, one of the things that really confused the whole group of developers is that they're like, well, we need more time to fix bugs and issues, but we're also going to add more quests and side content.
Yeah.
They're like, those two things don't have any.
Yeah. Let me rewind that for a second. Developers
about the delay, and they're like, one of the things that really confused the whole group of developers is that they're like, well, we need more time to fix bugs and issues, but we're also going to add more quests and.
We need more time to fix these things, but because we have more time, we're also going to add a whole bunch of other stuff. Is this game coming out in February? Is this game coming out in February? Maybe because of they got to get it out before the end of the year for the books. You know what I mean? But like, just fix the game. If you're polishing it, their words, not mine. If they're delaying it to polish the game and make it fix, then stop adding stuff. Just fix what you got.
Side content. They're like, those two things don't have anything to do with one another, and one creates more issues. This doesn't make any sense. And also, you push it to February, the month that Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and Monster Hunter Wilds release. You're cooked.
I have a question, Poe. I mean, you're new in my channel. I have a question, though. If you hate these people so much, and obviously you're not watching him right now. You're watching him because you're watching me. But if you hate these people so much, like Eastwood, right, which I've never watched him, okay, and you don't like him, why do you know so much about them? Why do you watch them if you don't like them? I think in the back of your mind, right, maybe you're jealous that he has 4 guitars. Maybe you're upset because he has a following, right? I don't know, but I don't usually watch people I don't like. Just a thought process.
What are you doing? What are you doing? I don't know, man. I want to thank everybody. Thank you guys for watching the last video as well. It was my first 1 million view video.
Holy
That's
shit.
Just a wild achievement, one that I wasn't really sure that I'd ever be able to achieve. And you guys made that possible. So thank you guys for that. Again, if it wasn't for your guys' support, stories like these wouldn't be able to come out. I hope I get to do more stuff like this in the future.
Like a credit says, that explains a lot, Mo. And Mo said, I like Colt.
Future because I had a great time making this video. This is probably the favorite.
You like Colt because he talks about Xbox. That's understandable, Mo.
This is my most favorite video that I've ever made. But yeah, outside of that, thank you guys. If you guys have enjoyed the content, make sure that you're sharing these videos. Make sure you like the video, comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. What are you doing? Come on, man. Just on board. If you guys want to catch me live, you can follow me on Twitch. I'm live 2 days a week. I'm working on videos 4 days a week. I'm sleeping 1 day a week.
Hey, you can't catch up on sleep. You can't catch up on sleep. It is what it is. What we were listening to before. Let's go with what's this one? That might be too relaxing, but we'll see. You don't have to apologize to me. See, the way I look at it, Poe, is that anyone that you hate watch and you call that person retarded, you got to look in the mirror a little bit, right? Because why would you follow someone you don't like? I'm just putting it out there. The clip says, I mean, if you want to get big, you got to do the grind, right? And that's why I'm not big, right? Because I don't do the grind. I don't do the same type of grind other people do. I'm just trying to do a live show. We're just trying to have conversations, right? We like video games. We like talking about stuff, right? Try to entertain you guys for, an hour, 2 hours a day type of thing, right? I could do what they're doing, but then I believe it makes the subscribers or the community different than what I want the community to be, right? I don't want the community to come in because I make a hot video of a topic, one certain topic, and then I have to keep making topics like that, right? I like talking about a whole bunch of different things. I like bringing people in that just want to hang out, just have a conversation, like you're coming over to my house, right? Sure, Vandal. Sure. What I'm saying is if you find out that you don't like somebody and then you continue to watch them, in that process, it means that you kind of still like them though, right? Something's holding on to you to still tune into whatever content creator that is. Real quick, I saw a couple of messages that I wanted to see before and I posted them. Jason says, 30, you got a recent interview with the director of Dragon Quest 3. He goes off on how he hates the censoring games for the West. Okay. All right. And then Hilly says, Mike, if you don't care about the LGBTQPL plus QWER TY ABCDEFG++ #LGBTQAIS or AITS issues, you're the issue, and the issues will be discussed in a narrative of the story in your favorite game. Exactly right. Holy shit, that was long, Hilly. Poe says, don't let me stop you from watching the content creators. I just hate the attitude of knowing that the industry works but because you tweeted or had a few emails, chats to some dude at Ubisoft. Look, you complaining about something on my channel is not going to affect me in any way, shape, or form. I'm going to watch what I want to watch. I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about. And you're more than welcome to have a conversation in the stuff that we're having a conversation about, right? I'm just saying that if you're putting it out there, right? If you're putting it out there that you hate somebody, it means that you're watching them quite a bit, or they're in your feed. Otherwise, you wouldn't really care about them, right? You know what I'm saying? That's all. Altern says, if you're working at Ubisoft, that would be you with HR, because you didn't add a smiley emote. Right. Okay. I got to put so when I read someone's chat, I got to make sure I put a smiley emote. He says, I pretend to talk about business like they know the fuck that they're talking about, but how do you know what they know or what they don't know? See, for me personally, I don't know video games besides just being a lifelong fan. I'm 46 years old and playing games since I was 3 years old. So 43 years of my life I've been playing video games. I know a lot about business, but I don't know a lot about the video game business personally, firsthand. Okay, I have a lot of friends in the video game industry. Okay, this is why I make comparisons to the film industry, because that's what I can talk about, because that's what I was in. Okay, and entertainment business is the same across the board. All right, and corporate, right? When we talk about stuff, we talk about it from the business aspect, not from the video game development aspect, right? So when we're talking about companies and businesses on how they're running upper management and stuff like that, that's across the board. It doesn't matter if you're working at a restaurant, working at a corporo, you know, IBM or Google, or if you're working for a small little shop, right? So we could all have commonality of, like, if I worked for a corporate office, a telemarketer, a business, a real estate agent, whatever. We all have bosses. We all have managers. We all understand the way that managers work and who gets promoted or who doesn't get promoted. And we could talk about that and experience in those ways. And you can associate it with those. Not saying it's 100%, you know, one for one. I disagree. I disagree. I don't think those people are killing gaming at all. Right? I don't think those people are killing gaming at all. You know what's killing gaming? The companies pandering and not making games. Here's one thing. Again, you're new in my channel. We have a slogan. Make a game, sell a game. Make a game, sell a game. That's it. Make a game, sell a game. People like this don't make or break a game. They don't. I know people want to think that Asmongold can tank a game or not tank a game. Okay, what makes a good game and what makes a bad game, what makes a good show or a bad show or a good movie or a bad movie is the people that are making the actual thing. Right? That's it. It's just the people. You take credibility of what you're doing, right? So if I made a movie and the movie bombed, is it that the people didn't come out because it was a good movie, they just didn't understand it? Right? Of course, lots of good games don't sell, right? Not every game could be a blockbuster or a AAA title, right? From a consumer standpoint is different than a business standpoint, right? A consumer standpoint is, oh, the game didn't sell well, or that we think of publicly. We look at it and go, oh, it only sold of 2 million units. We're like, oh, it's shit compared to 18 million units that Palworld sold, right? But for the company, oh, we don't know what the budget was. So if the budget was small enough and they sold 2 million units, then it's successful for them. And then they make a sequel or whatnot, right? Then there's also things that are terrible that also get a sequel, right? It's a shitty movie, but people go see it and make lots of money, and then they make another movie of it. Okay? This happens both sides. Good things sometimes don't get good stuff, and bad things sometimes do get good stuff. But to blame, whatever it is, to blame the customers of why it fails or succeeds is because of a small group, in their terms, a small group, a vocal minority of why this doesn't sell because of bigots, racists, and sexists is just stupid. It all goes back to the company making the product. It's all it goes back to. The market will bear what the market bears, right? And we, the consumers, have made what Activision is today, made EA what it is today, made Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo what they are today. What did Kirk say? Kurt said, good hamburgers sell, bad hamburgers put people out of business. Right. Right. It's that simple, right? Or you can make a subpar burger. Okay. You can make a subpar burger. I think Jones is making this statement right now, right? Bad hamburgers sell every day at McDonald's. That's right. You can make a subpar burger where enough people think it's good, right? And that becomes of price, the price differential and whatnot. East Vandal says, Digital Foundry said, my game runs at 37 frames per second, and your game runs at 30 frames per second, so your game is trash. I hate the stuff. We literally never cared about frames per second when growing up. It's so stupid. Right. Looking at it now, right, and you know me, Vandal, I don't care about frames per second. I get that people care about it, but at the end of the day, that's not what sells video games, right? It's not what sells video games. Little Monster, the $5 super chat, thank you very much, says marketing is to sell you a good product. Transformers 1, I heard, is a good movie, but the marketing was showing it that the kids movie when it's not. Yes, perfect. I actually watched Greg Owen, who was on the show a couple weeks ago on our Chatting With, okay? He did a review about Transformers 1, and it got me excited to go watch it because the first trailer, which we watched here, I was like, I don't know about it, man. I was like, I'm a little concerned about it. I'm a huge Transformers guy. He said the movie was fantastic, right? He says it's not, right? There's a lot of violence and stuff in there, but it's robot on, robots, no killing humans or anything like that. He says it's pretty brutal. He says it's actually a really good movie, right? His kids liked it. I want to go watch it. But yeah, they didn't market it very well. That first trailer they showed, it looked more like a, like How to Train Your Dragon, which is funny because the person that made the movie made How to Train Your Dragon. And it was pieced together like that. So it looked very kiddie. But it's really not. Thank you very much for that $5 super chat. Appreciate that. Travis says, it's basically thanks for your 30 years of service, liking the service, not get out and we don't want you anymore. Right. It's across the board. I know people don't want to admit that it's happening, but it is happening. There's too much evidence that it's not it's not happening. You know what I mean? There's more evidence of it happening than not happening. It looked like a kid's buddy cop movie. Yes. It just, the way they edit it, and look, first impressions are everything, right? We might go this weekend and watch it. I wanted to go last weekend to watch it. Maybe we won't go watch it at all. We just watched Inside Out 2 last night or 2 nights ago. Good movie. Good. We watched Garfield last week. That was good. And there's one more I think we're going to watch. Oh, we have to wait for it to come out. I still haven't seen Wolverine and Deadpool. Yeah, I know it's coming out soon. My wife's yelling at me across the house. Krabby says, would you say this is correct? DEI is fine if it's not shoved down your throat and the main identity of the product. Well, I've said this before, Krabsy. If DEI is in the actual product, whatever it is, if it's video game, if it's in books, right? And DEI, people connect that with woke, right? Let's just say those are connected, whatever it is, right? Automatically connected. if it's in the movie, if it's in the game, if it's in the book, if it's in the show, whatever it's in, I think it's fine. I think it's always kind of been there, but it's never been to the forefront of when you market a product, when you market a game, when you market a TV show, when you market a movie, and that's the advertisement. That's the thing they put, right? This is the first lead film from a lesbian, right? This is the first black film. This is the first transgender thing, right? When they do that, that is where people have a problem. That is where people have a problem where they're like, don't shove it down my throat. If they just tell the story, it's in the story, right? Like, for instance, Game of Thrones, there was a lot of sex in that show. There was a lot of guy on guy, girl on girl type of stuff in there. It was gratuitous at points. But did they market Game of Thrones like that? No. It was just in the show. You were like watching it and you're like, oh, okay, right? People didn't care because it would just happened. It just happened, right? But when the companies do it forcefully, and then when they don't see it, people are like, you're racist, you're sexist, you're misogynistic. That's the problem that people have. They just don't want to be shoved down their throats. That's all. Transformers says the actual story of Transformers between Autobots and Decepticons is very sad. If you actually look into it, the mirrors the downfall of the actual civilization and history. It's supposed to be really good in this Transformers 1. They say the biggest problem is that it happens too fast. It doesn't happen over time. They would have liked it if it was over a little bit more time, like maybe a sequel or something. But just like Chato said the other day, he says writers don't even know if they're going to write for a second movie, right? So they have to they write certain characters knowing that this could be it. So they kind of rush it. Or if it runs for 7-8 seasons on a TV show, and then all of a sudden this is the last season, then they wrap up the character and it feels kind of rushed, right? Let me see what you guys are saying. Kraken says, I disagree with your take about frames per second not selling games. I personally will not buy a game if I know it's terrible optimization. What I'm saying, Kraken, you don't hear people complaining. Obviously, I said there are people that care about frames per second. I'm saying the majority of the population doesn't care about frames per second. I'm not saying nobody cares about frames per second. And if I did say nobody cares, I misspoke. What I was saying is that majority of the population doesn't care about frames per second. If they did, the Nintendo Switch wouldn't have 140 million units sold. You know what I'm saying? Other things wouldn't have sold well if they cared about frames per second. They care about games, right? Not to say that people don't care about frames per second. Obviously, Sony just told you that three-fourths of the people that play on PlayStation want performance mode. But they also didn't tell you about the other 67 million people that haven't switched over to PlayStation 5 yet, right? So they're both right in their form. More people want performance mode for frames per second, but they didn't also count the other more than half of the people that don't have a PlayStation 5 yet. Jones says, honestly, hearing white dudes complain about racism is hilarious. Well, I'm not complaining about it. You know what I mean? I know it's there. I don't do it personally myself, so. Salty says, we've heard diversity since the 80s. There's nothing wrong with it, unless it's the main focus of the product of storytelling. Right. That's the issue. At least that's my issue with it, right? I have no problem. It's there. I have a problem the way they're marketing it and pushing it down our throats and then telling us that we're the problem. Ace Vandal says, the problem is never DEI. The problem is bad writing, not being able to effectively deliver the idea. Right. Well, here's the thing. If they didn't market the DEI and the wokeness, okay, of the product outright, which they'll stop. They'll stop doing it. They'll just hide it within the thing. Okay, they'll just hide it within the thing. Okay. But if they don't market it, I don't think people will have problems with it. It's when they have a problem because it's the only thing they're pushing forward to. Just let the product speak for itself. Celebrities, the actors and actresses, the voice actors, the creative directors, whatever, any piece of entertainment, we'll just talk about why did you make this game? Oh, we were really excited about making this and so on. They would just talk about the game or the book or the film. Now it's other than that. And it's like, well, can't we just talk about the film? Can't we tell us about the movie? Roadkill says, they've created this country to be racist, and they also just put a movie out of magical Negroes of society. And they also about keeping white people calm, and they're so effing in their head. Yeah, well, of course. And then there's people like the game that just came out. What was that game called? Dustborn, right? Dustborn, right? They literally did exactly what they wanted to do. They put a game out there to make fun of it, right? Because it's a piece of art. And they put it out there to double down, triple down on the idiocy of it, right? Idiocracy of it. Salty says, stop ticking boxes. Just make product with actors because their merit, not the color of their skin. As this is an obvious. Right. It's just make the product. I don't think we're asking for too much, right? Just make the product. Make a game, sell a game. Make a book, sell a book. Make a movie, sell a movie. Mo says casuals don't care about frames. Yeah, and a lot of people don't care about graphics either, Mo. There's more people that don't care about graphics than people really think. East Vandal says, the masses do not care about frames per second. Grand Theft Auto 6 will prove this by multi-millions. Right, you're saying that the game is probably going to come out 30 frames per second, right? And everyone's going to buy it up because of the name, of the IP. Papa says 30 in response to Kraken and you. Be prepared for optimization in video games to take a complete shit, and Sony embracing the pisser. I love saying pisser. PC using FSR, DLSS, and so on. Devs are going to be lazy on optimization. Is that optimization or output? I think it's optimization, right? You're right, Jones, but that is what everything is now, right? Diversity isn't the same as DEI, but DEI is not the same as woke. But woke and DEI are all combined together now. That's just the way it is. There's so many definitions and people using it in different ways and different forms. My thing is, just don't use that as the selling point. That's it. Travis says 30. Like Endymion said in that video, 30 is it's going to be a surprise. It's your game now. They'll hide it better. Absolutely. It's just like front loading something to work in the first chapter and then it's broken the second and third chapter. Same thing. Get you in the seat, get you through the game enough where you can't return it, and then that's a practice that's always been there. East Vandal says not true. 30. Look at Get Out. The advertising was very woke. It was the movie. It was super successful. Which one? Get Out. Which one was Get Out? I don't even know that movie. Let me look it up for a second. Is it called the movie Get Out? You talk about the horror mystery thriller Get Out? Is that what you're talking about? Where was the thing? Get Out was successful. Optimization. Okay. Yeah, this movie looks like it was $4.5 million budget, and it went on to make 255. Right, small budget horror flick, niche market. Plus, it was a South Korean movie, right? So, but I'll be honest, I don't think majority of the population of the world hasn't seen it or heard of it. I didn't know about it until you told me about 30 seconds ago. Never heard of it. Came out in 2017. There's a couple of reasons I don't know about it, because at that time, my kid was young and I couldn't go to movies or anything anyway. It was Jordan Peele's boom into movies. Yeah, early release in South Korea. That's where it got its start. And then it moved out. 176 million. It's good. It's good. The horror genre is a very niche market in the grand scheme of films. They're cheap to make, and they output a lot of money. Yeah, I didn't see the movie, so I can't speak of Get Out at all. Like I said, I just knew about it about 10 seconds ago. Well, $200 million off a $4.5 million budget is very successful. $200 million wouldn't be successful if the budget was $100 million. Right? Yeah. $4 million to $200 million is very successful. That's along the lines of like Clerks, My Big Fat Greek Wedding. You know what I mean? Like that is monumental. No, it said Korean, where it showed in Korea first. That's where it first came out. That's what I read. Sorry. It aired there first. And that could be on purpose because they knew the genre that they were going for and where the market was, right? They probably did market research where do people like those movies the best? And that's why they went there first. Which works out because if you put it somewhere first and then it comes out and it's successful there, then it would open up in more theaters. It's about white folks kidnapping black folks because they want to be us. It's woke as fuck, whatever that means. I've never seen any of Jordan Peele's films. None of them. None of them. It's not my genre that I like, so I don't watch them. Although, because I don't watch them and I'm a white guy, it could be because I'm sexist, racist, misogynistic, or a bigot. It could be. I mean, it could go either way. It couldn't be because I had a kid and couldn't go to the theater because I have a small youngster to take to the films. You know what I mean? Yeah. But you know, that's the way it would get reported. I'm looking up something real fast. There's a lot of articles. Dear white people, a guide to watching Get Out. I wanted to see if they had a stat, which I can't find. But like, for instance, when Madam Web came out, and Madam Web was made for women. They were made for women that watched comic book films. And then women didn't come out and watch the comic book movie. It was more men than women came out. But yet the media was telling people that Madam Web failed because of men. Like, what? More men saw the film than women. But they made a movie for women, but they didn't watch it. So it's the men's fault, obviously. Ron Slusher says there's an adult film called Get In. Is that the prequel? Is that the prequel to Get Out? Hilly says, I'm an equal opportunities hater with movies. I hate everything made since RoboCop. RoboCop was it. That's understandable. That's understandable. You know they're making a remake of the show. They're making a new TV series. El Dente says, I love it that they tell people the movie isn't for you. And then go like whatever, obviously your fault. Always baffles me. Yeah. Yeah, we made this movie for this specific group of people, but it failed because this other group of people that wasn't meant for didn't come watch it. Okay, it's good. Sarge says, Get In was the prequel, Get the Fuck Out was the sequel. Oh, all right, got it. If you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning to noon Eastern. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We've been trying to do, keep you entertained for about 2 hours or so Monday through Thursday. We just read stories. We just watch videos. We just have conversations. If you like it, again, hit that like button. Helps us out. We're a small content creator. So we're not like these big boys out there. And we don't do breakout videos, right? So we're working on like making shorts and whatnot, but we don't do breakout videos. So I don't capitalize on like I'm talking about certain things like right now, right? I don't make a breakout video of where you can just watch this for 10 minutes. Like people that watch this show are watching it after the fact, and I put time codes in there, and then that's what they watch. They watch this, and they skip around wherever they want to watch. Is Travis leaving? All right, Travis. Later. Battlefield V devs don't like it. Don't buy it. Did you see? Wasn't there a new one that just happened? There was another game where a company said, if you don't like it, don't buy. Oh, it was an ex-Sony executive. It was an ex-Sony executive saying, if you don't like it, don't buy it. It's like, shut the fuck up, dude. You don't even work for the company anymore. What are you telling our customers not to buy the thing if they don't like it? Like, what game was it? It was a recent game that was coming out. And one of the guys came out and said something. Overwatch is woke. So was the marketing. Very successful. They didn't push it out. You see the difference though, right? Vandal? They didn't tell you Overwatch was this and this is the, like, there was just characters in there, but it wasn't the main focus. That's the only difference. The stuff has always been in entertainment since like the late 90s. Okay? Been gay, lesbian, whatever. Okay? It's always been in there, right? Same sex, black, white, Chinese, Mexican, it doesn't matter. It's been in entertainment for a very long time. It's just that they didn't market it that way. Now they're using it to market the thing instead of just putting the show out there. Well, that's another thing, right? The character design of Overwatch, they were very good characters. Well, no, there's two things there. You can't take out the other part, right? You're absolutely right. It was good because of the writing for film, movies, television, games, whatever. But you're missing the other part. It wasn't the main focus of the advertisement. You keep purposely missing that point. Okay? They didn't push it as an agenda or propaganda type of thing. They just put the game out there and people liked the game for what it was. If there was stuff in the game, it wasn't pushed. Not until recently. Okay. Greg Miller is at Kind of Funny Games playing Shattered Space, and man, it looks good. I loaded it back up last night, Dolphin. God damn, that game looks good. It does look good, right? Right, exactly, Al Dente. That's the exact thing, right? Yeah, Overwatch was woke from the beginning. We didn't use the term woke, right? But the difference was it wasn't a thing. It was just in the world. It was just there. They didn't market it as, well, you got to play Overwatch. It's the first gay lesbian character inside there. Like, okay. Sarge says it looks good, but boring as fuck. I don't know. Fuck, it's pretty exciting. I don't know. Oh, were you playing it last night? Did you play Shattered Space last night? It didn't start this morning until 8. So did you think it was on last night? Or are you just getting back into the groove? So Ghost, all we know is that the girl is a poltergeist, and also folks are calling it woke. We know absolutely nothing about the game, so effing stupid. But that is all we know now. You're talking about Ghost of Yote, right? I don't see anything woke from that. The people that are saying that are mostly trolling, I would assume, right? We know nothing of it. Now, you could talk about the woman who's banning people for saying absolutely nothing. That's a different conversation. But does that have any bearing for majority of the population to go, well, I'm not going to buy this game because of this person? Probably not. Okay? Because they're not following her on Twitter. They're not even on Twitter. So they probably don't know any of that stuff, right? Do I hold it against somebody if they say, I'm not buying this because of this person? They do what they want. Okay? But right now, if I don't have a PlayStation 5, so I'm not going to buy the game anyway. But if I had a PlayStation 5 and the game was coming out, would the woman personally stop me from buying the game because she's blocking people and she's an activist? Personally, no. If the game is good, the game is good. But if she's an activist and it starts to ruin the integrity of the game, instead of the game, she's out there pushing stuff. Now, in the old days, the actors and actresses and the directors and stuff like that of movies and television shows didn't do any of that stuff until after the project was out. She's doing it before the game is out. So a lot of people have issues with it. I personally don't care, right? I personally don't care. It's not going to sway me one way or the other until she goes over the line, right? If she goes over the line and then starts to say certain things, then I'll be like, well, what the fuck, dude? Why can't you just be quiet? Why do you have to be an activist? Just be quiet. Just be the actress. Just be the thing. You know what I mean? Oh. So 30, are you going to beat Shattered Space? Yeah, why wouldn't I? We mostly completed every game that we play on stream. If I like it, we'll play it like Monday, Tuesday, and then we'll continue playing it. If I don't like it, then I'll play it Monday, following Monday, type of thing. We'll get through it though. Trolling or sexist? A little bit of both, I would think. Right? You can't just say it's. Some people are trolling. Some people could be sexist. Sure. Do I think everyone's sexist and everyone's trolling? No. No. Like I boycotted Gearbox, not because of anything else they did except for shitting on content creators. At the time, I was like, I'm not supporting this company. Had nothing to do with DEI, had nothing to do with woke, had nothing to do with any of that, right? Had nothing to do with the bad game. It had everything to do with the company. Is I didn't like what the company was doing, so I boycotted the game. El Dente says, I'm definitely trolling, but not sexist. Altered says, for you, 30, is it Starfield Shattered Space or Star Wars Shattered Space? We're going to play, I'm going to be playing as Boba Fett, or I'm sorry, Mando, while we play. I might have to take the helmet off. I don't know how that's going to work when I stream. Am I going to get booted off the thing? I don't know. I might have to take the helmet off. Travis says, 30, I boycotted because Pitchford was an asshole. You didn't boycott shit. You played the game. Oh, you meant the movie. Okay. Okay. I was like, what are you talking about? I know you were playing the game 1,000%. Oh, I watched a video yesterday. Let me see if I could find it. I watched a video yesterday. And it was talking about about Destiny from, it was the final shape or whatever. And I didn't know this because I haven't played in 3 years, which I thought was interesting. Let me see if I can get to the part where he talks about it. You won't hear it, but I'm just going to show you. I just want to show you visually something. Let me see what the guy's name was. What was his name? Was it on a different account? Because I got 30 NSG and I have 30 in Still Gaming. Let me see. The guy's name is November something. Do you guys know who I'm talking about? November... Is it November 0 or something like that? No. Oh, man. I don't have it. November Hotel? Is that what it is? That's it. See, chat, crowded. That's it. You're so good. All right. Let me go to his video of Destiny that he did like 3 months ago. And there's a part where he shows... There's a part where he shows what the game looked like, what it used to look like, and what it looks like now in certain parts. Let me see if I can find it. Certain section. He starts to talk about what the game looked like before, and then what it looks like in Destiny 2, and how dummied down it looked. And I was like, really? That's what they did? And again, I haven't played it in 3 years, so... Wasn't it this video? Sorry, chat. This is what happens when you do something on the fly. I'll probably cut this out afterwards in the after show. Come on, show. Is it a different video? Maybe it's a different video. Maybe it's not the final one. Maybe it's a different one. He had retro. No, it had to be this one. He shows an important thing of where the game, it just looks more dummied down. I'll let it play in the background while I talk to you guys. And then we'll stop it in the certain spot. He goes from one to the other. When we get there, I'll pause it. It's in like double speed right now. He talks about how the old Destiny, and then in Destiny 2, the way it looks in Destiny 2, and how they took it looks weird. You know what? It wasn't this video. It was another video. It was like the graphics to do with it. Hold on. Let me find it. I'll find it. Was it the one that you sent me, Travis? Where people don't care about graphics or something like that? Yeah. Graphics don't matter. That's what it was. Yeah. Here it is. Okay. So do you see? It's going to be weird, but here's the same shot. There's Destiny 1, right? It's like dark and gloomy. The shadows and stuff are more rich. Okay? Like everything's there, right? And then you go to Destiny 2 and everything's just more vibrant, right? Everything is it just doesn't look as good. It just looks too clean, if you want to say. Okay, here's Destiny 1's tower. Okay, now obviously the towers got blown up and whatnot in the next one, but look at the quality of this compared to that. Right? You see, like, that they dummied it down. They dummied it down from that to this. Right? Destiny 1. Like, look at the shadows, the textures, right? Just everything that's there. And then you go to Destiny 2, and it's just very clean looking, right? Now, there's certain sections in Destiny 2 that look cool, but you have nothing to compare them to, right? Destiny 1, Destiny 2. Like, look at this. And then Destiny 2, it's very whatever. Cosmodrome, Destiny 1. Cosmodrome, Destiny 2. Right? You look at what the game is to what it is now. And the reason I'm bringing this up is earlier we were talking about, and Akuda Papa brought it up, that people are worried about like frames per second. And people are worried about like the graphics and whatnot. But they're taking stuff out of the games. They're taking stuff out of the games to make them run smoother, to make them run stuff. So it's like they're going backwards to make you feel like you're getting more out of the game. But really, they're taking more out of the game. This is the same exact thing that they do with Madden by taking mechanics out of the game and put them back in the game later. Right? That's all. I just wanted to show you like the difference. This is stark, you know, stark difference. Just how much. There's a dedicated video for this about Destiny. Well, this is what I saw yesterday. See, I don't follow it, Krebsy, because I haven't played in years. I would have thought, as a person that stopped playing, that Destiny 2 would have been better in every way, shape, or form. Graphic-wise, running-wise, everything. But obviously, they've dummied down something there. No, it was not about the mechanics. It's about the visuals, Jones. It was about the visuals. East Vandal says, downloading Shattered Space now. I hope it's full of black trans gay women. I love all the diversity. I think you can have as many things as you want in there. Again, people don't have a problem with it in the game. They have a problem when you're promoting it in the game. That's it. But you like trolling, Vandal, and that's why you keep bringing up the same stuff. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're friends or not friends or whatever. Just people that want to play games, they just don't want to be shoved down. Whatever political thing it is, whatever thing they want to push, that we don't care. We honestly don't care. Ron says, I was hoping Shattered Space got delayed. No, you can delay it yourself though, Ron. You don't have to play it. You can wait till February if you want. Game Pass. My biggest thing about Shattered Space, Altern, I know you're joking there, but I hope that they are now around the whole galaxy. It's not just like you can fight them in the new planet. You know what I mean? I hope that all the factions are across and they've now populated across, or maybe by the end, right? Maybe by the end of the story, then they leave that planet and start to populate the rest of the. So when you're fighting other factions, they're there as well. Krebsy says, I like to see games when they drop last gen. Not saying that they should do it right now, but eventually it will happen. Well, you mean last gen PlayStation 4 or Xbox Ones, right? Where then it's just this system. That's going to be really hard, especially since majority of the population is still over on the old systems from both sides. So they won't abandon that until the next console comes out. And then we're still in the exact same boat that we're in, because then they're doing like the PlayStation 6 and the Xbox, whatever the next one is. Okay. And then the old gen is the current gen that we're in now. So you're always going to have the support of the last gen always behind the current gen, regardless. Dolphin says, no, I paid for it a year ago. It's a year late. Travis says, 30, my biggest wish for Starfield is that it gives you another, gives 30 another 300 hours of content so we can all call it a bad game. Yeah. Yeah. For 300 more hours. We'll do that. That's actually pretty good, Travis. The next Xbox console should be called Explosion. Explosion. Explosion of games. Let's see if we have any other quick news. We'll be back tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, to play some Shattered Space tonight. A scrapped Overwatch Netflix show, a proposed Call of Duty RTS, and 4 more details of upcoming books on Blizzard. Let's throw that in the news stories for later. What else we got? What else we got? Death Stranding 2, only 30 to 40% complete, says Kojima. Jesus. When's that game coming out? If it's only 30, 40% complete, what? That's not coming out till 2026? 2027? What is that? Digital Foundry recently got early hands on the F1 2024 running on PlayStation 5 Pro. Let's watch it. You're not going to hear the voice, I don't think. Just look at it. How's the grass, though? That's the real question everybody wants to know. What's the grass going to look like? Look at the difference, though. I mean, obviously, you can see the shininess of the rain and whatnot. Okay, but before the PlayStation 5 Pro was announced, and everybody was talking about how the what's it called? How the game looked on PlayStation 5. People were blown away by this, right? They were blown away by this. But now that you have something to compare it to, you're like, oh, this is shit. This is shit now, right? This is the best right here. Yeah, so much so, I just want to let you guys know the cars are floating a little bit above the ground, it looks like. Just a tad bit. There you go. So. If you don't know what you're looking at and you can't compare anything, then people won't know what the hell it is, what the differences are. Dolphin says, 30. He did say that the video that you could read the signs better while driving. That's good. That's good. Again, people that were playing the game before were like, this is the greatest graphics ever in the history. And now they can get a little bit better. But where are we going with this, right? Where are we going with the graphics as they are? There's a roof. Here's something. If you guys want to know how to start the mission, I'm going to post something inside of our Discord under the Starfield tab. Where's Starfield at? Do we not have a Starfield tab? I thought we did. Oh, we do. There it is. That's how you start the mission. If you guys are wondering how to start the mission, GameSpot put something out there, so I'll put that on in our Discord for you. Grand Theft Auto 5 was the best-selling game across Europe in August, ahead of Star Wars Outlaws. A game that is 10 years old outsold a brand new Ubisoft Star Wars game in Europe in August. Amazing. Amazing. I think that's it. Nothing else really going on. All right, tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, playing some more Starfield. Return of Jack Burton in Captain's Log for our Starfield Shattered Space playthrough. That'll start tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. I do appreciate you very much. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. How do we end this now? I don't have an ending thing, so you're just gonna have to stare at the. Just gonna have to stare.